Adventure time. Grab your friends, we're going to very distant lands. Specifically, the land of U. 1,000 years after the Great Mushroom War wiped out most of human civilization and irradiated the planet into a surreal, magical, and often terrifying new ecosystem. Beneath the candy-colored exterior, the talking dogs, and the sentient cinnamon buns lies a world built on the bones of our own. Ancient, pre-war technology litters the landscape, mutated creatures roam freely, and cosmic entities of immense power treat planets like playthings. The few remaining humans are scattered and often mutated. It's a post-apocalyptic world that managed to evolve into something vibrant and strange. But the scars of the past and the ever-present threat of new apocalypses are never far from the surface. The New Order. Imagine a world where the unthinkable happened. The Axis powers won World War II. This isn't just a bad dream. It's the horrifying, meticulously crafted alternate reality of the New Order. It's the 1960s, and the globe is carved up between a triumphant, increasingly unstable Greater Germanic Reich, a co-prosperity sphere dominated by Imperial Japan, and a fractured, demoralized United States. A chilling Cold War simmers between these titans, with global nuclear annihilation just one misstep away. From the hyper-militarized Sparta of Japan to the horrifying Burgundian system, every corner of this world is dripping with despair, paranoia, and the ever-present threat of collapse or nuclear war. It's a chillingly plausible exploration of fascism's ultimate self-destructive trajectory, where hope is a flickering candle in a hurricane of human misery. Library of Ruina. So, you thought running a corporation that harvests energy from eldritch horrors was bad? Try running a sentient, interdimensional library that invites guests to fight for their lives and turns their entire existence into books. Welcome back to the city, the hyper-capitalist, corporate-run dystopia. The library is presided over by Angela, an AI with a serious grudge and a plan, and Roland, a mysterious fixer who's just kind of along for the increasingly traumatic ride. The city itself is a nightmare of megacorps, syndicates, fixer guilds, and districts, where bizarre laws and social norms reign supreme, like the one where everyone wears rat masks, or another that's basically a permanent death game. The library's goal is to find the one true book, and to do that, Angela invites representatives from all corners of this messed-up urban sprawl to receptions where they battle the librarians in elaborate, emotionally charged turn-based combat. Lose, and your story, your memories, your very essence becomes another volume on Angela's ever-growing shelves. It's a world where emotions are weapons, trauma is a resource, and the only escape from the brutal, uncaring city might be to become a permanent resident in a library, cataloged by your regrets. Texhnolyze. Welcome to Lux, the City of Light, a subterranean hellhole built deep beneath the Earth's surface, where hope goes to die a slow, agonizing death. The air is thick with despair. Violence is a way of life, and humanity itself seems to be losing its will to exist. Society, if you can call it that, is fractured between warring factions. The Organo, a Yakuza-like syndicate controlling the lucrative trade of advanced cybernetic prosthetics. The Union, a populist movement seeking to reject technologization and embrace a purer, though equally brutal, form of human existence. And the Raycon, nihilistic youths who revel in chaos. The city is dying, its inhabitants are succumbing to apathy and violence, and the mysterious class, the original builders of Lux who reside on the surface world, observe with detached indifference, occasionally pulling strings that only make the city decay faster. Helldivers. Do you love freedom? Do you cherish democracy? Are you willing to die horribly for Super Earth? Then you're perfect Helldiver material. In the glorious future of managed democracy, humanity's benevolent homeworld, Super Earth, is beset on all sides by existential threats. The insectoid terminids, the cybernetic socialist automatons, and the reality-bending Illuminate. As an elite, heavily armed, and utterly disposable Helldiver, your sacred duty is to be shot out of orbit in a Hellpod onto hostile alien planets to complete vital objectives like planting flags, activating SAM sites, or, most importantly, exterminating every non-human entity you encounter. Propaganda is your breakfast, patriotism is your creed, and friendly fire is just an occupational hazard when you're delivering 500-kilogram bombs of pure liberty. Every mission is a chaotic ballet of explosions, dismemberment, and heroic sacrifices, often because your squad mate called in an orbital strike a little too close. The only good bug is a dead bug, and the only good bot is a scrapped bot. Your life is a small price to pay for the continued existence of our glorious way of life, and don't worry, there are always more Helldivers ready to take your place. Now get out there and spread some democracy, soldier. Or die trying. Preferably both. Frostpunk. The year is 1886. The The world didn't just get a bit chilly, it plunged into a cataclysmic volcanic winter, freezing oceans, burying cities under snow, and extinguishing most of human civilization. A desperate handful of survivors fled the collapsing cities of Great Britain to establish a new settlement around a colossal coal-powered generator in the frozen wasteland of the north. Starvation, sickness, freezing temperatures, despair, and internal rebellion are constant threats. Welcome to the last city on Earth. Try not to let it freeze. Cruelty Squad. Feeling down about your dead-end gig? Don't worry, there's always freelance wet work. Welcome to Cruelty Squad, where you're an emotionally dead assassin for the corporate conglomerate. Your job is to infiltrate bizarre, flesh and concrete architectural nightmares and liquidate targets ranging from rival CEOs and corrupt politicians to annoying influencers and sentient fungal growths. Augment your failing meat body with grotesque biological implants bought on the organ stock market, like a grappling hook made of intestines or legs that allow you to kick through walls. Invest your blood money in the stock market or gamble it away on fish. It's not just a game. It's an experience designed to make you feel hollow and disoriented, trapped in a cycle of meaningless violence just to afford the latest brain-rotting consumer goods. Enjoy your slop. Arknights. Welcome to the world of Terra, a planet scarred by catastrophes, devastating natural disasters of unknown origin that sweep across the land, leaving behind destruction and a crystalline mineral called originium. This originium is a double-edged sword. It's a potent energy source that has fueled technological advancement, but it also infects living beings with orypathy, a progressive, incurable, and ultimately fatal disease. Those afflicted, the infected, develop crystal growths on their bodies, are often feared and ostracized by society, and face brutal persecution, forced labor, or outright extermination by various governments and factions. The militaristic Ursus Empire, the theocratic Laterano, and the chaotic Kazimierz each have their own agendas and often brutal methods of dealing with the infected and the catastrophes. It's a world of constant conflict, deep-seated prejudice, and the desperate search for hope in a land slowly succumbing to disaster and disease. Rimworld. So, your luxury starliner just got shot out of the sky, and you've crash-landed with a handful of other traumatized survivors on a forgotten rock at the end of the galaxy? This is Rimworld, where your primary objective is to not die horribly, a task made incredibly difficult by raiders, man-hunting squirrel packs, psychic death drones, rampant disease, mental breakdowns, and so much more. But this isn't just about building cute little houses. Survival on the Rim often demands compromises. Running low on organs? That prisoner has 2 perfectly good kidneys and a lung. Rimworld doesn't force you to be evil, but it makes it an awfully tempting option. Lethal Company. You're hired! Welcome to the company, your benevolent new overlord in the cold, unforgiving void of space. Your new job is scavenging scrap metal and discarded industrial junk from abandoned moons. Problem is, these moons are crawling with a mind-boggling assortment of lethal creatures that want to eat you, wear your skin, or just destroy your sanity. You and your equally expendable crewmates have a strict profit quota to meet every few days. Fail to deliver enough valuable junk to the company store, and you'll be unceremoniously ejected into the cold vacuum of space. No severance package, just a quick, silent demise. Your life is literally worth less than a rusty screw or a broken teapot. The only thing scarier than the monsters is the next performance review. Casshern Sins. In a distant, desolate future, robots, once humanity's servants, achieved sentience, rose up, and conquered their creators, establishing a seemingly eternal mechanical empire under the iron fist of their leader. Humanity dwindled, becoming a forgotten relic. But this robotic utopia didn't last forever. Luna, revered as the savior of mankind and a source of life in a dying world, was assassinated by a combat android. Her death triggered the Ruin, a slow, unstoppable decay that began to corrode the immortal bodies of robots, causing them to rust, break down, and lose their minds, while also accelerating the decline of the few remaining humans. Signalis. Imagine a galaxy run by the Yusan Nation, a totalitarian regime that makes Orwell's Big Brother look like a chill roommate. Humans are citizens, and then there are replicas, highly advanced androids who are basically sentient appliances with feelings, designed to serve their human partners. This universe is filled with radio signals that mess with your head, forgotten horrors, and galactic-scale bureaucratic indifference. It's a place where your memories might be fake, your purpose is dictated by the state, and love is probably a form of treason. Fear and hunger. Ever thought your D&D game wasn't grim enough? Welcome to Fear and Hunger, where the dungeons are actively trying to give you PTSD. This world is ancient, cursed, and designed by a committee of very sadistic old gods who apparently majored in body horror. Society is a charming mix of religious zealots who worship things with too many tentacles, desperate cannibals, and creatures whose entire existence is an affront to God. The world of Fear and Hunger isn't just trying to kill you, it wants to break you and defile you. The Expanse. Imagine humanity finally made it to space, colonized the solar system, and immediately started acting like, well, humanity. Earth is overcrowded, bureaucratic, its citizens blissfully unaware of the struggles beyond their atmosphere, and clinging to its past glory like a faded prom dress. Mars is a militaristic, terraforming-obsessed society, its people driven by a singular purpose and a serious chip on their collective shoulder about Earth. And then there are the Belters, born and raised in the unforgiving vacuum of the asteroid belt and outer planets, doing the dangerous, back-breaking grunt work for the Inners, getting exploited for resources, breathing recycled air, and developing their own unique Creole language, physiology, and a deep-seated, entirely justified resentment for their planetary overlords. It's a gritty, depressingly realistic future where space travel is dangerous and uncomfortable, resources are scarce, and political tensions are always one miscalculated orbital burn away from open, system-wide war. The Expanse is a world where corporate greed, political maneuvering, institutionalized prejudice, and good old-fashioned human stupidity are just as dangerous as vacuum exposure or rogue asteroids. Space, the final frontier for screwing things up on an even grander, more complicated scale. Dark City. Ever wake up in a strange hotel bathtub with a dead body, no memory of who you are, and the distinct feeling that something is very wrong with the world? This isn't just your average noir metropolis. It's a place where buildings rearrange themselves. People's identities and memories are swapped out nightly, like old VHS tapes, and nobody ever seems to question why the sun hasn't made an appearance since, well, ever. Turns out, the city is a giant, malevolent snow globe run by the Strangers. Pale, bald, trench-coat-wearing dudes with a hive mind and a serious aversion to water who love conducting bizarre, reality-bending experiments on the human inhabitants. They're trying to figure out what makes a human soul tick, mostly by shuffling everyone's lives around like a cosmic deck of cards to see what happens. It's a surreal nightmare, where free will is a suggestion, your past is a fabrication, and the entire city is just a figment of some creepy alien's imagination. Utopia. So, you found a rare graphic novel sequel called The Utopia Experiments. Cool, right? Except this comic apparently predicts horrific future epidemics with unnerving accuracy, and now a shadowy, incredibly powerful organization known only as the Network really wants it back. The Network isn't just a bunch of comic book collectors. They have a very pragmatic plan to solve global overpopulation by releasing a sterilizing agent called Janus. Their logic? A little mass sterilization now is better than global societal collapse later. This war of mine. Ever played a war game and thought, man, I wish I could experience the sheer terror and desperation of being a civilian trapped in a besieged city with no food, medicine, or hope? Well, good news. This war of mine delivers that uplifting experience in spades. Forget being a super soldier. Here, a group of ordinary people tries not to die as their city is shelled into rubble around them. By day, you huddle in your dilapidated shelter, crafting makeshift beds, trying to filter rainwater, and listening to the sounds of gunfire and explosions. By night, one brave soul ventures out into the war-torn streets to scavenge for anything useful. Canned food, bandages, maybe even a guitar to stave off the crushing depression. But the streets are dangerous, filled with other desperate survivors, opportunistic bandits, and trigger-happy soldiers. War is hell, especially when you're not holding the gun. Elden Ring. Ah, the lands between. A realm once graced by the Elden Ring and the Erd Tree, ruled by Queen Marika, the Eternal, and her demigod offspring. Sounds majestic, right? Well, someone, or something, shattered the Elden Ring, Marika vanished, and her kids, all blessed with shards of the ring called Great Runes, decided to have a massive, catastrophic family squabble known as the Shattering. This tantrum basically wrecked the entire continent, leaving it a blighted, war-torn ruin populated by grotesque monsters, mad soldiers, demigods driven insane by power and grief, and the occasional talking pot. The world is a breathtakingly beautiful landscape of utter decay, where ancient castles crumble, divine beings rot, and every picturesque vista probably hides something that wants to eat you, or inflict you with scarlet rot, which is exactly as pleasant as it sounds. The lore is deep, fragmented, and delivered through cryptic item descriptions and dialogue that hints at ancient betrayals and the horrifying consequences of unchecked ambition. It's a world where even the concept of death is broken, and everyone is just kind of miserably undead, waiting for some schmuck in armor to come along and put them out of their misery and claim their powerful trinkets. So there's another set of dystopias. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if I missed anything. Thanks for watching.